I hope screen is visible and my voice is audible. So let me start once again. The antenna wave propagation we are learning. And the topic is the content. Today's content from the chapter number 1 is nothing but the electromagnetic power and the energy, and as well as the Poynting vector. Still we are on the chapter number 1, uniform plane wave. So this is the last topic, that is electromagnetic power or the energy, and as well as the Poynting vector. And the last but one, and the last is nothing but the Poynting theorem. So here, what is mean by the power and the energy, which are related to the conduction, convention, and the radiation. This basic study already we have done in the electromagnetic field theory. So all these required while you're going to learn the electromagnetic power, or you can say the energy, in terms of the energy. So electromagnetic radiation, how we can measure, that is a natural light, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And we know very well the electromagnetic radiation is nothing but the production of electromagnetic radiation and its propagation through the space, and its interaction with the other matter is explained by using the wave model and the practical model that is explained in the next slide. So what is mean by the wave model? That is with the help of the Maxwell's equation, or you can say the scientist Maxwell, it invented in the 1860. The electromagnetic energy or the wave that travels through the space at the speed of the light, and that light speed is nothing but the 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And this wave model is explaining about how wave can be propagated in the form of the electric as well as the magnetic, and in which particular direction with the light speed. Okay. And as well as electromagnetic wave consists of the two fluctuating fields. One is the electric as well as the other is nothing but the magnetic, that we are aware. And how that wave looks, the two fields are at a right angle to each other, and they are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. That with the help of this figure, you can identify easily how the magnetic, if the magnetic wave at the beginning, what we can say, this blue color showing the magnetic fields. One time it's a down, and the one time it's a up. So because the propagation is going on continuously, similar to that, the pink color is showing the electric field, and blue is nothing but the magnetic field. Likewise, and they are moving towards the one particular direction, and the length which you are going to measure, the one cycle, that complete one cycle is nothing but the wavelength. So in this way, we are also interested, we should know while you are learning the power and the energy, that is nothing but the amplitude, wavelength, and the frequency. We should avoid the basic concept related to the electromagnetic in the form of the amplitude, in the form of the wavelength, as well as in the form of the frequency. So the parameters which are related to the amplitude denoted by the A, the wavelength denoted by the lambda, and the frequency, that in this case they mention as the gamma, otherwise this will be the F only. So it's depend upon the author, we can they can use, and they can mention in a figure, they can use that likewise. So similar to that, if you observe the what is mean by the amplitude, it's showing the how the high the wave is. So with the help of this figure, you can identify easily A is my amplitude, and what is my height of that, or you can say what is my peak, or what is the value of that the sign that is mentioned here on the top as well as the bottom. Similarly, the wavelength, which is nothing but the distance between the two corresponding points on the wave, and it's measured in the meters, that denoted by the lambda. See here how the sinusoidal waveform. See here one sign here likewise. Either this one or the top one. They mention even the what we can say the middle, the top, and the bottom are the positive as well as the negatives, and they are clearly mentioned how we can determine the distance in the form of the wavelength. The last is nothing but the frequency, which is nothing but the number of a cycle of the wave which is passing the fixed point per unit. Okay, that is per unit of the time, and which is measured in the hertz. Okay, and see here how they can measure. So wavelength is the length of the one complete wave cycle. It can be measured as a distance between the two successive crests. Okay, so what is mean by crest and all, we will see later on in the next slide. Next is nothing but the definition of the crest here, which is nothing but the point on the wave with the greatest positive value or upward displacement. Okay, upward displacement in the cycle. Similarly, throughput or a throw is nothing but the inverse of the crest. If the crest is the highest in the positive, definitely throw will be the lowest form. That is just like the maxima and the minima. Just like the maxima and the minima. So this slide shows how we can measure the amplitude, how we can measure the valence, how we can measure the frequency to know about the energy, to know about the power, and later on that all together will be showing that is the in the form of your the pointing or pointing vector, you can say that already we have studied in the electromagnetic field theory. P is equals to that denoted by the S on the S plane. So P is equals to E cross of H like that. So here these are the basic things which are required to know, that is amplitude, valence, frequency, crest like this. So see here in the electromagnetic wave, so here the transfer wave is explained how the wave can be traveled only for the practical point of view. We are learning, we are what we can say taking the example of one sign, but it's not like that practically. Theoretically, we are taking as the one sign, but here you can observe easily how the wave are traveling. Infinite waves are traveling at the same time, and we can calculate the things. Okay, see here what is mean by the amplitude is clearly mentioned. Clearly mentioned the A. Okay, here the wavelength is the lambda. This is the top. See here the top, or you can say the maxima wave. That is nothing but the crest, and the bottom. See here the bottom too. That is nothing but the toe, and the direction of the traveling of the wave is mentioned in this direction. If you're taking the X and the Y of electric and the magnetic field, so definitely you need to consider the Z will be the direction. So likewise, the moment of the water molecules, how they can be traveled, that you can take the example. Here they clearly mention the crest is a point on a wave with the maximum value or the upper displacement in the cycle. So is the opposite to the crest. So the minimum or the lowest point in the cycle. So with the help of this sinusoidal, you can identify easily what is the crest and so. So here the how to identify how we can say the electromagnetic wave is different. This is the one of the example of your the oven and all. So here what is the difference? The example of what you can say microwave oven will be considered the electromagnetic wave, which carries the less energy that in the as compared to the X-ray. Okay. So if you're talking about the energy, you're talking about the power. Indirectly, you're talking about the power. If you're talking at initially, you are saying about the energy means you are talking about the power itself. So here the example of your the microwave and the comparison with the X-ray. Okay, this is both are the no doubt at all the examples of your the electromagnetic waves. Okay, so in the form of the energy which is greater than the lesser, that comparison is going on. The amount of the energy carried out by the electromagnetic wave totally depend upon the wavelength. And what is the conclusion behind that? The shorter the wavelength means if the lambda is lesser, the higher its energy. Okay, if the lambda is lesser or decreasing, then definitely the energy will be increasing. And in the next is nothing but the wavelength and the frequency. If we are comparing the relationship between the lambda and the F, so they are linked to the properties of the wave. So the shorter the wavelength means again the lambda is decreasing, the higher will be the frequency, that the frequency will be increases. So the frequency is also tells about the energy of the wave. In short, we can say the higher the frequency, the higher will be the energy. So these are the very key points while you are talking about the energy or while you are talking about the power, because while you are going to use in terms of the application, so at that time these points are required, whether you want the energy in the higher form or whether the lower form, whether you require the larger frequency or the lower frequency, or you are interested in the wave, shorter wave or the longer wave. So one of the examples, once again, is mentioned here, that is nothing but the electromagnetic waves on the surface, how they can be reflected, absorbed, and how they can be transmitted. That is mentioned here. One of the example of your the X-ray also is the wave behaves depend upon their energy and the type of the material which is used. Again, the example of light waves are reflected by the skin, but X-ray passes the straight through. So electromagnetic waves are absorbed. Some of their energy absorbed by the material. So this is the increase in the temperature of the material. So these are the two examples. Okay, how they can the energy can how what we say the light wave can be absorbed, and in terms of what we are getting the output. So the practical model. So electromagnetic EM is nothing but electromagnetic energy may also be described in terms of the joules, that is nothing but denoted by J, and the electrons that is nothing but the EV, electron volt. Okay, the rate of transfer of energy from the one place to the another place. One place we are taking, one is nothing but the sun, and the other place is we are considering as the earth. Because if we are talking about the SATCOM, so earth to the space, we can take example even from the space to the receiving station. So these are the examples with either this or that. So we are talking indirectly in terms as a flux. and that flux is nothing in terms of the energy. So flux means the flow, that is the power flow, and which is measured in the watt, and the light is the light which is traveling or the passing is a stream flow of the particles called the also known as the photon. So this was related to the previous slides were up to the energy and the power. Because directly the power can be measured with the help of the what would you say, the derivation, or with the help of the scientists which have derived the expression that is known as the Poynting theorem of the vectors. Okay, or the which is calculated the average power flowing in the what we can say, the in terms of the wave from the one place to the another place. Already we have studied in the EFT. So come towards the next topic, which is also the last but one topic, that is nothing but the Poynting vectors. And the last topic of your this chapter is nothing but your the Poynting vectors. Oh, sorry, Poynting theorem. So before going to end with the Poynting theorem, because that is a derivation. So here we must aware, we must know about the Poynting vector. So the S is denoted as the Poynting vector. We are aware, and this is defined as the cross product of the vectors E as well as the H. E is nothing but the electric field, H is nothing but the magnetic field, the direction of the power flow. So already we have done in the previous slides how that can be measured. Okay, what we should know, what are the things which are related to the flux, energy, amplitude, cycles, the frequency, and the wavelength. All are together is nothing but the flow, that is nothing but the power at any point in the what is the normal to the both the electric as well as the magnetic vectors. So how they can be measured, that is the watt per meter square. So S is equals to E cross of H, the cross product is going on. So with the help of the Poynting theorem from deriving through the Maxwell's equation. So Maxwell equation in the point form is given as equation number 1, that is the del cross of H is equal to J plus D divided by dou T. Already we are aware this del is nothing but the gradient, and H is nothing but the magnetic field, J is nothing but the displacement current density, whereas D is nothing displacement again, or you can take as any one of the vectors. So dou D by dou T with respect to the time period or a time variant, you can say. So taking the dot product with the E on the both the side, that is nothing but what we are doing, we are multiplying the dot product with the help of the electric field. So E dot of del cross of H. What we are doing both the sides means, for the equation number 1, we are doing the dot product on the both the sides. So E dot in bracket del cross of H again equals to E dot of J plus E dot dou D by dou T. So from the vector identity, what we can do, we can take the gradient outside, and the fields we can take at the one side. So what we have done here in this case, the del is the outside, and whereas electric field and magnetic field are in the one side. Similarly, the vector opposite things in the what we can say, left hand side and the right hand side will be opposite. How they can be do, one side the magnetic field will be multiplied with the gradient and electric, and the electric will be multiplied with the gradient and the magnetic field. In this way, again at the beginning, whatever you have done, you just segregate, separate out all these things. So E equation will become E dot of del cross of H, and the H equation will become so one side. So in this way, you can get the equation number 2. So equating or substituting the equation number 2 in the equation number 1. Whatever you got the equation number 2. So see here, why we want exactly this term. Why we are doing all these things just to get such equation. Why does such equation? Just because we want to put this equation into the equation number 1. So after substituting in the equation number 1, you can identify easily with the help of the Maxwell equation. The del cross of E will become as a minus dou B by dou T, because we know very well E related to D and the B, whereas H is E is related with the D and the H is related with the B. Okay, magnetic field as well as the electric field. E related to the D and the H is related to the B. But vice versa case, while you are multiplying, here is one side is the electric field and one side is the magnetic field. Okay, getting, and you can separate out with this one. Again, you can apply the vector identifying, and you can multiply with the E as well as the H. Again, you will get after same in the rotating form. If you are doing multiplying, initially you are multiplying with E and the H, and then later on with the gradient. Again, you will get one of the equation. You can substitute the density, current density, that is J is equals to conductivity into the E sigma and the D we are aware D is equal to epsilon into E, and the B is nothing but mu into H. So here the B is nothing but the what we can say magnetic flux density, whereas H is the magnetic field. Likewise, electric field density D is equal to epsilon E. So likewise, just substitute wherever you are finding the J, substitute the sigma into E, wherever you are finding the D, epsilon into E, wherever you are finding the B, and mu into H. You can substitute easily in the above equations. So you will be able to find the del that is nothing but the gradient dot of E cross of H. So wherever is the J, you are getting this part of J square. Wherever this D is there, you can take this one. Okay, so here is the D, so epsilon E, here is the B, mu H likewise. And you can get all these things. So what is mean by the E is nothing but again here clearly they mention how we can get that E, because here is also E, here is also E. So to get that E, so that will be E square. So integrating throughout the volume with the help of the volume, we are integrating the entire equation with the help of the volume. So differential volume with the gradient E cross of H is nothing but the dV, differential volume. Again, these two terms are applied. Already these equations we have done in the EFT. So this term, the integral of volume of del dot E cross of H of dV is nothing but the total power, whereas integral of sigma into E square into dV is nothing but the power dissipation, whereas we were in terms of the time varying 1 by 2 epsilon E square plus 1 by 2 mu H square dV is nothing but the rate of energy stored. So using the divergence theorem, after getting this equation, we can go for the divergence theorem, and we are aware the integral of surface of d dot ds is equal to, in terms of the volume, that is integral of v del dot d into dv. So if you are going to substitute the value of the d by looking at the above equation, so you can find the del in bracket E cross of H of dv, and whereas this term will be of the same d is nothing but this part, and this is multiplying with the ds just because of the divergence theorem. So what is the power flow in the coaxial cable? How we can identify? Because at a ground level, we are using the cables and all, and the space, the wireless is there. So no data call, or you can say why you are going to use the wire transmission. That time also we need to take care about the cables. So here the coaxial cable, which has the DC voltage in between the conductors, and the steady state current, I current is flowing in the inner and the outer conductors. So in this way, the I current is flowing in the conductor. V is the potential or the voltage plus or minus. In this way, current will start to flow, and depending upon the what we can say the inner circles, the radius will be different, A, B, C, likewise, and there will be internal resistance. So we need to take care about all the values. So in this way, by using the Ampere circuital law, you can find integral of H dot dl. If you are having the length of what we can say the infinite length and the current, how the current is flowing in the cable, that time we always remember use the Ampere circuital law for finding the amount of the current in the magnetic field while you're going to take care about the cable, if cable is there. So how you are finding this one, integral of dl, so that is nothing but the differential length. So in this way, you can easily identify what is the radius in the circle, that is nothing but 2 pi r. So you can substitute wherever you are having the dl, that is nothing but the differential length. We just substitute the value of 2 pi r, and this will be the I is nothing but the I enclosed. So this is nothing but the Ampere circuital law. With the help of that, you can find the enclosed current, which is with the help of the cable, how much amount of the current is flowing and what is the radius, and we know very well how many layers are there in the cable. That is too important. So here the radius is lying between the two circles or two things, outer and the inner. So that is nothing but the A and the B, and the H you can find easily. That is the magnetic field is equal to I divided by 2 pi r. So here the E due to the infinite long conductor, so E is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon r. So this is the equation number 1. So lambda is nothing but the charge density, and the potential difference in the conductor you can find V is equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon in of V by A. So we are finding, we are interested in the magnetic field, we are interested in the electric field, we are interested in the potential. Okay, all these things in the cable. Okay, so we can equate the equation number 1 and the 2. And in this way, E is equal to V divided by in of V by ARR. In this, finally, you will get the power density P is equal to E cross H, and the E and the H are nothing but they are perpendicular to each other. And these are in the cross product, whereas you can take in the dot product, P is equal to E dot of H, and you can substitute these two values, what you have got in the above slide, that is the E as well as the H. So V divided by so and so, and H divided by so and so likewise. you can substitute and you can find ultimately in terms of the total power, W is equals to integral of so and so, which is nothing but the value of E as well as H. Finally, after getting the integration, and you are taking the radius as the inner and the outer radius, A and the B, and you can substitute the value. Okay, finally you will get as the total power of flow along with the cable is nothing but the product of V and I. So here the notation, either you can take the P just to avoid the confusion between the Poynting theorem. So we have taken here the power as a W. W is equals to V into I. So in this way, we have tried to understand how what are the things are required for finding the energy, for finding the power, what basic parameters are required, just figure the amplitude, just figure the what you can say the frequency, and what you should know the things that is nothing but your the basic terms which are related to the what you can say the energy and the power. Later on, once you know about the power, because that is required in the both the electric field as well as the antenna and the wave propagation. In the both the cases, we are required that energy, we are required that power, how much amount of the power is going through the antenna as well as in the space that is required. Simultaneously, we should aware these things that we are learning just because of we are interested in the Poynting vectors. Once we know the once we know the energy and the power, definitely that things will be reflected in the Poynting vectors in the form of the electric as well as the magnetic field. With the help of taking the example of your the cables, because we are aware whether it's a what you can say earth station transmitting or the receiving. So definitely we require the cable, and that stations they will be connected to the antenna, and then later on that antenna will passes the energy, the signals in the space, and then the receiving antenna will be there. Okay. So in between the transmitting antenna and the receiving antenna, no doubt at all, the propagation is going in the free space, no doubt at all. But the stations, power stations, which might be the transmitting power station or the receiving power station, they are connected through the antenna only. So transmitting antenna as well as the receiving antenna. So for that, there will be the connectivity through the cables. Okay, through the cables only. So for that only, we must aware all the basic fundamentals which are related to your the what we can say the energy which are related to the Poynting vectors, and at the end which theorem is required or with the help of which scientist that the theorem is derived, so that we can simplify the equations to get the mathematical expression modeling. At the time of design, all these things are required. All these things are required at the time of designing. That is nothing but the antenna design. What is the length? What is the radius of that antenna? What should be the shape and the size of that antenna? How much amount of the power is required for that particular antenna? How much signals are uplifting or transmitting? How much amount of the signals are receiving? How much losses are there? Interferences are there? What is mean by the aperture? How we can get the good efficiency? What are the power losses? All these parameters are must to know while you are learning these things, because the designing part, once you know the design, definitely you can use any kind of what you can say this designing part is applicable if you are making the mini project, if you are making the major project, or if you are making any kind of project, if you are working in that. So definitely these things are required, where exactly these antennas are used, what is the role of your the polarization, what is the role of the wave, electric as well as the magnetic wave, so that you can use in the particular applications, any application, because either walkie-talkie you can use in the even the car is moving, so then how much amount of the wave propagation is going on, that you should aware. You must know all these things. So that's why we are learning these things. So morning session also we have covered the few content related to the antenna and wave propagation. Simultaneously, this session was also covered the electromagnetic power, energy as well as the Poynting vector. The tomorrow will be the last session related to the uniform plane wave unit number 1, that is the Poynting theorem, and on the base Poynting theorem itself. So in this way, thank you so much.